Video, I'm going to show you how to run EC2 instances in a specific schedule. The requirement is like this. We want to run some EC2 instances between business hours, that is 9 a.m. in the morning, we want to start them, and 6 p.m. in the evening, we want to start them. But there might be a lot of EC2 instances in the environment. We don't want to do this scheduling for all of them, but we have some conditions as well here. The condition is this. So we wanna run instances in a schedule where instances has a specific tags, like the tag keys type and value scheduled. So there might be n number of EC2 instances with the key type and the value scheduled. We want to run all those instances in this particular schedule, and that too we don't want this schedule a complete week. We want to run those instances in the schedule only from Monday to Friday. I'll show an example here. We have one EC2 instance here. If you check the tags for that, along with the name, it also has something called as type and the keys type and value schedule. So once we implement this one, right, this instance must start at 9 o'clock in the morning and it should stop at 6 o'clock in the evening. Right, let's get started. So we have EC2 instance there. Now for this, we want to create Lambda function. Let's create a Lambda function and let's schedule this Lambda function using CloudWatch. So before that, so what about IAM role for this Lambda? Lambda is going to access EC2 instance. So it requires permissions to get access. It requires permissions to perform some operations like start or stop on EC2 instance. Plus, Lambda generates logs. Those logs are sent to CloudWatch logs. So because of that, Lambda also must have permissions for AWS Cloud Watch logs. Let's first go and create this IAM role. So go to IAM here, go to roles. I want to create a role, but before creating a role, we need to create a policy for that. So once policy is ready, let's go and create a role and attach this policy to that role. So go to policies, create one. So this policy should allow permissions to two services. One is EC2, other one is CloudWatch logs there. So choose a service. One is EC2. So I want two permissions in this. One is start instances, other one is stop instances. So resources, to keep the example simple, I'm calling this one as I'm choosing all resources, but in real time, so we need to be little specific and create policy according to that. So right now we don't have any conditions there. Review the policy, start, stop, name it. Put some description and create the policy. So policy is created. Let's go and create a role. So create a role. Yes, we want to create a service role. We want to give this role to Lambda, right? So in service, we need to choose AWS service. Under AWS service, we have to select Lambda. So it's like this. We are associating a role with Lambda such that Lambda will access those services on your behalf. So go to permissions, search for the policy we just created, review it, give in name, meaningful name, create the role. Oh, sorry, we just created only permissions for EC2. We forgot to give permissions for CloudWatch. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to policy again, search for it, open this guy. We have option to edit, so it opens in this visual editor. So currently we have one permission which is specific to EC2. Let's add one more permission. In this case it should be for CloudWatch, and it should be for CloudWatch logs. I'm keeping it like all. Resources, again I'm keeping it as all resources. Review it, save the changes. Yeah, that's all. So we're done with step 1, where we created IAM role for Lambda. So now if I assign this role to Lambda, it gets access to EC2 instances and AWS CloudWatch logs to publish the logs generated by the Lambda code. Step 2, right? We should go and create a Lambda function itself. Let's do that also here. Services, go to Lambda. So create a function. I want to create a function from scratch. Function name, schedule EC2 instances. Runtime is going to be Python 3. So role we already created. Let's go and choose an existing role there. So this is a role we created, a start stop EC2 instances role, and go and create function. Yeah, see the screen here. This is a function. This function has permissions to 2 resources, otherwise 2 services here. One service is CloudWatch logs, other service is Amazon EC2. So scroll down. So this is where we should go and write the logic for starting EC2 instances. So for this, we are using Python Boto3. So first let's go and import Boto3 there. From Boto3, let's go and get the reference to EC2. So before that, I would like to open Boto3 documentation such that we will also learn how to refer the document for Boto3. Boto3 EC2. Yeah, I want to go with filters actually, because I want to get my EC2 instances based on some condition. So there is an option called as EC2 filters in Boto3. In that filter we can put those conditions and get the instances which meets this condition. Let's open that. Yeah, see this one. So this is the code for Boto3. They also have some code examples for Boto2, but we prefer Boto3. This is the latest version. This is the latest version. So we have some similar examples in the document. See, we need to import Boto3. We need to get reference to EC2 service. So once we get access to EC2 service, see, can you see this one? Not this one. Let's little go. Just a moment. So let's try this one there. Let's try this code, ec2.instances.filter. I'll implement the filter. I'll put the filter condition. So this returns you instances matching the filter. Let's give a name, variable name as instances. So now let's also define the filter. Filter, this is the syntax of it. Filter is a array of JSON objects there. So array. So inside this array we can have multiple JSON objects like this, but in our case probably we need only one object. So now in this we want to filter based on a tag, right? Yeah, so in the filter, right, we need to put name. For tag we just use this prefix tag colon type under name, and values it should be scheduled. So this I need to set to this particular function, filters equals filter. See, I am declaring a variable here which is array of JSON objects. We have only one object in this. It has two properties. One is name. The tag name should be type and value should be scheduled. This particular function returns all EC2 instances whose tag key is type, whose tag value is scheduled. So right, so we got access to this particular particular instances. Now we should loop through all the instances and we need to start them. So let's go back to documentation again. Okay, right, so let's put a loop. In the loop let's go and call stop method on the instances here. It looks like this. For instances, sorry, for instance in instances, beginning of the for loop, instance dot start. So this return type is not really important here. I'll just put a dummy value saying success. So let's go through the code again. So we are importing Boto3. From Boto3 we are getting reference to EC2 service. Using EC2 service where we are getting all EC2 instances based on a filter, and we are looping through all the instances, and on each instance we are calling start. So let's test this code first. So save the code and see, currently it is stopped. When I go and execute this code, this particular instance matches our filter. It should automatically start. So before scheduling this function, first let's go and test it here. So click test. So when you say click test, if you want to call this function, we need to pass some dummy event. So I'm creating a new event here. I'm just saying hello world. Okay, I'll put it as scheduled test data. This data can be anything because right, we are not using the input coming to the function, but I'm just leaving it as default. Oh, sorry. Let's scroll down and create this test event. Oh, sorry, again I should give a name. Demo data. Let me put it as demo data. So create it. Right. So if you want to test, pass this code and test it. Something wrong. Error message, an error occurred, unauthorized operation while okay. So the problem here is, right, when we call this filter, it's getting all the instances, right? We call this one as describe instances. So our Lambda doesn't have permissions for describe operation. So what we should do again, let's go back to IAM role we just created, add one more permission for that specific policy. So role, let's filter based on our policy, customer managed. I think this is the one which we created. Yeah. See, it has start instances, stop instances. Along with that, we also need to have describe instances. Yeah. In this, we should edit these actions. We also need to give permissions to describe instances there. Yeah, review the policy. 1 second. Let's make sure it's added. Right? So save changes. So come back to Lambda. Try to test the code again. Okay, you're not authorized to perform this operation. What's the problem? Let's minimize it. Are we changing the correct policy there? Okay. Start stop EC2 instances role. Let's go there. Yeah. So yes. We gave the permission, right? Okay. So maybe it ran successfully. Looks like it ran successfully. Let's go and see. Oh no, it didn't run actually. Okay. So let's say test. Yeah, now it executed successfully. We got the message called as success. Yeah, so our code is working now. So we tested the code. Next task, right? Schedule this Lambda function. Once we're done with step 3, we're done with the example. This scheduling can be done from Lambda screen. So in this case, can you see this add triggers for this Lambda? So we can do it from here, or we also can do it from CloudWatch, AWS CloudWatch console. I'll show how to do it from CloudWatch console. So go to AWS CloudWatch. Events, create a rule. So I want to create a rule for schedule, and I don't want to run this in a fixed rate. I want to run this based on a cron expression. To get more idea about the cron expressions, click this link. They give you some samples. Based on samples, we can design our cron expression there. So our expectations are like this. We want to run only from Monday to Friday. So for that, right, it should be 9 o'clock. So 0, 9. Then day of month should be question mark. Month should be star. And day of week should be Monday to Friday. And year should be star, which represents all years. Yeah, see, when your cron expression is correct, it displays next 10 triggers for you. If something is wrong with the cron expression, it doesn't display these next 10 triggers. We need to troubleshoot when the cron expression is not correct. But so this one, right, it is in the GMT format. If you want to convert this one into some other time zone, for example, I want to convert this one into my IST. So I need to figure out GMT time which matches my IST 9 a.m. Let's go to Google. GMT or otherwise IST to GMT conversion. Open this guy. In IST my schedule is 9 a.m. right? So for IST 9 a.m. GMT it should be 3:30 a.m. So accordingly change the value here. So 30 minutes 3. Yeah. So this is how we are going to schedule our instances. So for this schedule we would like to add target. In the target we want to select a lambda function. See, it supports different targets here, but in our use case we are interested with lambda function. Select the function, schedule EC2 instances, and click configure details. Give a name. So enable the trigger, create the rule. Yeah, the rule is created for us. So it automatically starts your EC2 instances at 9 a.m. in IST. So this is about the example we tried to implement. So now we should write one more function which is going to stop these instances at 5 p.m. I'm not going to give the complete example of that, and I will just explain you how it can be done. So similar example, everything remains same, even this remains same, right? So in place of start we should put stop. That's the only change we should do in the code. And from CloudWatch create one more rule and put the cron expression which is going to be 6 p.m. in the evening. For that cron expression add target which is your lambda and select the new lambda function which is going to stop all your EC2 instances with matching tag conditions there. So that's about the example. Thank you.